And welcome to the Nexus for issue 63. I'm now quite far behind. I believe the issue, I think subscribes up to issue 66. But for us mere mortals, news agents guys, this is the latest issue. As we've seen from up to issue 66, we're going to be completing the rest of the leg, right down to the foot. I think the foot starts in issue 67. So these are the parts that we get in issue 63. And they appear to be straightforward. We need some glue and a screwdriver. There's a bit... Now these are all plastic. As you can see here. So without further ado, let's crack on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we've got this section just here, and as you can see, there is a slight raised section just here. And on our piece that we also have the same indent just there. So we're going to insert this like that. Just before it gets to the end, we're going to put a little bit of glue on this block just here, on this block just here. So I'm going to grab my glue and just on that little block there, I'm going to do a tiny bit of glue. You can see that on there. And all I'm going to do is slide this up to there. I'm going to leave it for a few minutes. I'm going to just leave that for a few minutes and then come back to it. And then we're going to be attaching this to this. Okay, so that is attached really nicely. Now we've got this section here. What we need is this section. So this little this cutaway section just here. And as you can see, unlike the rest of them, this one has a sort of hang on a second, if I can just zoom up on there. This one has like a little cut in it, where the rest of them doesn't. And that same cut is on here as well. So that just sits into there. Then we're going to grab our screw and I'm just going to screw it in. Fairly straightforward. There we go. Nice and tight. There we go. Just gonna do that a bit. It doesn't want to go anymore, and there is a bit of play in it. I'm wondering whether it's supposed to be like that. I'm just going to unscrew, screw, just try and see if I can get it any tighter. It won't go any tighter, so I'm wondering if it's supposed to be like that. Gives it a little bit of movement, maybe. Let me just double check all this. All it says in the magazine is just to screw it in, so I'm not too sure if it's supposed to be flush or not, but I'm going to give it another couple of turns. Okay, so I've actually got it. Hang on, let me just zoom up on that bit. Flush. Now, as you can see, there's no movement. It's actually moving the camera. There's no movement in that. As it goes, obviously in, it gets incredibly tight. So a little bit of brute force is needed just to screw the last little bit in, but it is in. It's nice and tight now. And that is it for this issue. What do we get in the next issue? Let's have a look. So in issue 64, now on there's a bit of discrepancy with this. So I've been told by Hachette and even on their online question bit about when they're going to be available in the newsagents. It says it goes back on the 10th, which is this week. But there was only this magazine here. There was no Routemaster magazine. So I would imagine that it's every 2 weeks from now on still. Now, I've got a bit of concern about this because the reason we were told that we were getting them fortnightly was because they had trouble, or they didn't want any disruption to the supply of the issues. That's what they said. This is what the information sheet that we got in here saying when it was coming every 2 weeks was because of the warehouse closing down in China and them making sure they didn't run out of stock. But subscribers are 4 ahead now, so I'm wondering whether that was just sort of wishful thinking on their account. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know what's going on. Though all the shops now are back open and should be trading from Monday, all should be open. I would imagine this should go back to weekly, but the information that we got in the magazine, the leaflet, said different dates than what it says online, and Hachette are saying that it's back to weekly. So I think at this point we just have to grin and bear it and see what turns up. But yeah, there's a bit of a I don't really know why they stopped it. Maybe it was because of the shops closing, but when they said they were going fortnightly, it was before the shops closed, before we were in lockdown. So I don't know what's happened there. But yeah, so subscribers, you're 4 issues ahead, and us mere mortals are 4 behind. But anyway, so next issue, we get a tube, obviously connects into there, and we get this bit here, which I would imagine fits on here. So the foot, so our foot, this is the ball joint area for our foot. So obviously it will be this, there'll be 2 of these side ones, and there'll be a piston at the back at this section here. This was the front of our leg, and I would imagine this goes on the front. So I would imagine we'll screw this in with one of these, and then this will get screwed into either side here, and then this is attached to our foot. So this is the ball joint area for our foot. So just like with the arm, where we had the plastic ball joint, it would just sit in there. Now, some people have asked whether that's going to be die-cast or plastic. I can see it being plastic. Will we have the same issue? I don't know, because I never had that issue with my one, and it's partly down to pushing it all the way through. I see a lot of people haven't pushed the ball joint in properly, so I've sort of half pushed it in. It needs to really be pushed in with like a sort of a click. The problem I think with the ball joint on the hand was the connector from the plastic to the hand was just one screw, and I think after when you wiggle it like this bit here is quite rigid on the hand, and it's wiggling the screw, and because it's plastic it's just riveting it. So we'll have a look to see what we get. Like I said, I would imagine it's going to be plastic. It's going to be a plastic socket, just like it is with the hand. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But that is it for this issue. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.